Hello there, everyone. Back again today with another creature progression template for you. Today we're going to be going into those natural creatures. Last time we talked about the box-carrying creatures, and then the inverse to those is natural creatures. Now, natural creatures typically do not carry any kind of boxes. Some of them, though, do carry treasure, such as coins and gems, and some also carry things like scrolls and runes and what have you. Now, the bad portion of the natural creature progression is you do not get to work on those box skills for the most part. You can always get them from other adventurers or listen to classes, but like I said, most of those natural creatures do not drop them. You do, however, get a huge plethora of creatures to choose from, many of which spawn very quickly, teach very well, and you have just so many options that your life is a little bit easier than those that have to follow the box progression. Not a lot easier, but at least somewhat easier. And like I said, you just have so many different options available to you that you don't have to milk creatures for those last few ranks. You can hit the sweet spot on several creatures all at once throughout your hunting career in natural creatures and not really have to worry about whether or not you are going to be ready for the next set of creatures. There's always something that you can learn from to get you prepared for your next, the next tier of creatures that you'll be hunting. So the first thing that, of course, you're going to start with is we're going to go with the Holy Trinity around the crossing of rats, starting off, because rats are fantastic from 0 ranks all the way up to about maybe 15 or 20 ranks. They will work very well for you. They're skinnable. They spawn pretty well. They're inside the city, so obviously they're close to everything. Hogs, which are, or musk hogs as they are, which are just out the west gate, which their spawn is okay, but mostly they fill a great gap from rats that goes into goblins. Now, hogs and goblins are often found together. Larger musk hogs are often found with goblins, such as forager goblins and scavenger goblins. And if you've looked at my other video about the box creature progression, and I would suggest you do, you'll kind of get an idea of why I value these creatures and why I mention that they are a decent progression upward into around the 35 to 40 rank area. Now, after them, we are going to go right into grass eels. After you get about your 35th or 40th ranking goblins, definitely head over to grass eels, because these eels are just so good, and you are going to have a fine time hunting and skinning these natural creatures, because like I did mention in my other video, they just come super fast at you. They attack very quickly, so they work those defenses very quickly, because of course the more times you get attacked, the quicker you can lock skills like your shield skill or your parry skill and your armor skills. There's just tons to kill. They just keep coming at you, so they work your weapons very quickly. And otherwise, they're just a great creature to move into the, I would say, the 50 to 55 rank area. Now, from there, you have a couple options open to you, but we're going to go north instead of going toward the islands or going south like we did previously, and we are going to hunt a little gem of mine that I enjoyed hunting on my empath right in this area, this kind of 50 to 70 rank area where you're not really sure exactly what you want to do, and that is going to be Arbologs and Thunder Rams up by Riverhaven. This will get you some experience with another starting town and the areas surrounding that starting town. Now, if you go to the maps on Atlantopedia, do not follow what it mentions for the area that the Arbologs and the Thunder Rams are in. It mentions that the Arbologs are in an area where actually the scout ogres are in. The Arbologs are actually in the larger area just to the south of where it says they're in, along with Thunder Rams. And these guys are great because the Arbologs, they look a lot like a natural creature. They're kind of like these gorilla-ish ape-like things, and they are skinnable along with Thunder Rams, but they also drop boxes, which is kind of neat. if you're into the box thing. Obviously, if you're not and you just want to work on your treasure, you can utilize the different loot commands that were spoken about in, I believe it was the DragonRealms videos, who does tutorials as well, in one of his videos, and I may have mentioned it in one of my beginners videos as well. But if you ever need to or are curious about those loot options, feel free to type in loot help and you can find out a lot about those. Now, these Arbologs and Thunderams spawn pretty good. They take hits very well, so their defense is somewhat lower from what I've seen in their offensive skills. They can hit a little hard, but if you've been keeping your defenses up, and you probably have just from things like grass eels that just swarm so much, you should be okay to utilize these guys to right around the 70 rank area or so. You could get a little bit more out of them, but I noticed when I started reaching 70 ranks, it really started to slow down. Now from there, if you go over to the area of Langenfirth and Therenborough, you will find blood wolves, and these blood wolves are everything that you want in a natural creature. They spawn very quickly, much like grass eels. They do hit harder. Now we're starting to get into the areas post 70 ranks where things are going to actually hit with a little bit more ferocity. They are skinnable, of course. There's tons of them. There's tons of rooms. And they are otherwise just right where you want to be, from about the 70 to about the 90 rank area. I noticed right around 90 ranks for me, they started to slow down. But you have another creature. Now, sadly, this creature is not skinnable, but I can't not recommend these guys because they will work everything that you have so well that you're just going to love them. And that is the Mora Vines and Mora Creepers. And you will find those guys near blood wolves in the Therenborough area. Now, typically a Mora Vine will spawn and come on you and start attacking you, and these Mora Vines will spawn Mora Creepers. And it's funny that if I'm pronouncing it right, that their name is Mora, because there will be Mora and Mora of those guys as they continue to spawn more creepers. And these guys will swarm you. They will attack very quickly, much like eels. They are not skinnable, but they hit very lightly, and they train fantastically, and that's why I kind of can't not recommend these guys. And when blood wolves are starting to slow down in the 90 rank area, these guys are just taking off, and you will lock all of your skills very quickly, easily into the 100 to 110 rank area. Now from here, you could probably go into the next creature I'm going to, or I should say the creature after what I'm going to suggest to you. But I do want to suggest maybe taking a trip into crocodiles. Now, crocodiles can be found at the very edge of the northern trade route before the river that goes toward Riverhaven from the crossing area. Blue-bellied crocodiles are a long-time adversary of many adventurers, and something that will work very well for you in around the 100 to the 135 rank area, and maybe a little bit beyond that. You could probably even get your defenses around to the 150th rank area, but I wouldn't go much above that, as they do seem to dry up in the training in that area. Now, these days there is a new set of creatures, or at least somewhat new, that many people have been riding to victory for probably a good 100 ranks, and those are the Brocket Deers. Now, these guys are west of Langenfirth into the Rakash village area, and they start at young Brocket Deer into regular Brocket Deer into elder Brocket Deer, and this is one of those kind of new made areas that are very easily tiered, quick to get to, spawn like crazy, teach very well. They're everything that adventurers want. The area themselves of the tiers are not super large, and because they do teach so well, there's usually quite a few adventurers there trying to get in on that great experience. The youngest ones supposedly will teach right around 100 to maybe 150 or 35, or about 135 to 150. The regulars will carry you a little bit further than that, and then of course the elders will get you past that 200 rank area. Now, Some people might wonder kind of what we did before the wonderful invention that were the brocket deer, or maybe they just don't want to have to deal with the crowds. Again, never be shy about asking to hunt with someone else. Sometimes it's really good to hunt with another person just to kind of increase the spawn and have all those creatures around for if you want to train things like stealth, which will just shoot up if you have a ton of creatures in the area that you can get if you're hunting with another person. But before those, what we did was giant thicket vipers, first off, which are back close to the crossing area. These guys were great. The recent combat changes, I'm not sure if they made their spitting venom any more deadly than it used to be. Typically, as long as you trained shield, you never really had to worry about that venom, and they filled kind of this important gap to get you up to another creature that's very close by to them, and that would be giant black lucros. And these guys are the bigger, more nasty cousins of those silver lucros that I had suggested in the previous video. These guys are much tougher. They hit good, but their spawn is often very good. Obviously, they, just like the giant thicket vipers and the deers, are skinnable. They have a large area. That area will usually have at least a couple of hunters in there just because of how good they've been to DragonRealms folks for years and years. But they are also a fine creature to start hunting at around 170th to 190th rank area, and they will get you up past that 200 rank area just as well as those deers will. So anyway, that was just a natural creature progression for you. Hope that some of you found this interesting. If you have any suggestions on further tutorials, or if you're curious about other progressions, feel free to let me know, and I will let you guys know my experience with them. Keep playing, keep having fun in DragonRealms, and I will see you guys next time.